She boarded quietly, dressed with elegance, carrying herself with grace. But when a flight attendant demanded she leave first class because of her skin color, no one imagined the truth. One shocking reveal: she didn't just belong there, she owned the plane. The terminal was crowded, the kind of chaos that made every traveler a little more impatient, a little more irritable. But among the sea of hurried footsteps and rolling luggage, a woman moved with quiet confidence. She wasn't loud, she wasn't flashy, but there was a presence about her, like she had long ago learned that dignity was the sharpest armor in a world that sometimes wanted to strip it away. Her name was Camille Johnson. To most of the world, she was a mystery. Few knew her face, and fewer still had any idea what she controlled. She liked it that way. Behind her reserved smile and unassuming appearance was a woman who had climbed from nothing to everything, who now sat at the helm of a fortune built on innovation and strategy. Yet, as she walked toward her gate that day, none of that mattered. To the eyes around her, she was just another passenger, another black woman making her way through the crowd. Her ticket read first class seat 2A. She'd booked it weeks in advance, the way she always did, ensuring every detail of her trips was settled before she ever set foot in an airport. She moved into the boarding line marked priority, standing tall as a few other passengers glanced her way. A couple of them smiled, others looked past her as if she wasn't there. And then, without warning, she felt the first sting of what was to come. A woman standing behind her cleared her throat sharply. Camille didn't turn immediately. She was used to subtle gestures like that, the passive-aggressive ways people sometimes questioned her place. But then came the words, sharp enough to pierce the air. "Excuse me," the woman said. "This line is for priority boarding. First class and elite members only." Camille glanced back slowly, her eyes meeting the woman's. She wore a designer jacket, clutching her handbag like it was proof of her worth. Her face was twisted with irritation, as if Camille's mere presence in the line was an inconvenience. "I'm aware," Camille said calmly, her voice steady, carrying no edge of apology. She turned back toward the gate, ticket in hand. But the murmurs had started. A man 2 places back leaned closer to his companion and whispered something, both of them chuckling softly. Another woman shifted uncomfortably, eyes darting between Camille and the airline staff at the counter, waiting to see what would happen. The gate agent scanned the next passenger's ticket, then gestured for Camille to step forward. She did, her ticket passing cleanly under the scanner with a reassuring beep. The gate agent smiled faintly and waved her on. But as Camille started down the jet bridge, she caught the sound of footsteps hurrying behind her. Inside the aircraft, the air smelled faintly of leather and polished wood. First class was quiet, a sanctuary compared to the chaos outside. Camille slid into her seat 2A, setting her bag carefully at her feet. She adjusted her scarf, glanced out the window, and finally allowed herself a moment of peace. But it didn't last long. The flight attendant appeared almost instantly, tall, thin, her hair pulled into a bun so tight it seemed to pull at her features. Her smile was forced, stretched across her face in a way that wasn't meant to comfort. She leaned slightly, her voice pitched low but edged with authority. "Ma'am, I think you may be in the wrong section. This is first class." Camille looked up slowly, meeting the woman's eyes. Her face gave nothing away. "I'm in the right seat," she replied simply. The attendant's smile faltered. "Perhaps you should show me your ticket?" Camille reached calmly into her bag, handed over the boarding pass without hesitation. The attendant glanced at it, and for the briefest moment her face froze, just a flicker, but enough for Camille to notice. Seat 2A. First class. Perfectly valid. But instead of offering an apology, the woman pressed on, her tone now clipped. "I'll need to double-check with the gate to confirm," she said. Camille tilted her head, her voice still calm. "You already scanned it. What exactly are you confirming?" The air grew tense. A couple of passengers nearby leaned slightly in their seats, pretending not to listen but very much aware of every word. One man frowned, shaking his head, while another woman adjusted her glasses and stared openly. The attendant gave no explanation. She stepped away briskly, muttering into her handheld device. Within moments, she was back. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but you'll need to move. There seems to have been a mix-up." Camille's eyes narrowed, though her composure remained flawless. "And where exactly am I supposed to move?" "There's a seat in economy we can place you in," the attendant said. Her words were careful, but her eyes betrayed something harsher. The cabin went quiet. Even those pretending not to listen now turned their heads. A murmur rippled through the rows, soft disbelief, a few gasps, a whispered, "Unbelievable." Camille's lips curved into the faintest smile, not of amusement, but of someone who had endured this scene too many times before. She leaned back, folded her hands, and said in a voice that carried through the cabin, "No. I'll stay right here." The attendant's cheeks flushed. "Ma'am, I'm going to have to insist." And then it happened. The moment that would be replayed again and again in the minds of everyone on that flight. Camille rose slowly to her feet, standing tall in the aisle. The quiet confidence she had carried from the terminal was still there, but now it burned brighter, sharper. She slipped a slim black folder from her bag, opened it, and placed the document neatly on the tray table in front of her seat. Her voice was calm, steady, every syllable deliberate. "You don't need to check my ticket. You don't need to move me to economy. Because I am not just a passenger on this flight. I am the owner of this aircraft. Every seat, every cabin, every wing, belongs to me." The words hung in the air like thunder. For a moment, the cabin was silent, stunned into stillness. The attendant's mouth opened, then closed, her composure unraveling before everyone's eyes. A man in business attire leaned forward, his jaw slack. A young woman in row 3 gasped audibly. Camille continued, her voice unwavering. "I built the company that runs this plane. I designed the systems your airline depends on. And today, I was content to sit quietly in my seat, enjoy my flight, and be treated with the same dignity as every other paying customer. But instead, I was questioned, doubted, and ordered to move, because you couldn't see past the color of my skin." The attendant stammered, her face drained of confidence. I didn't mean." Camille's gaze held her firmly. "You did. But now you, and everyone here, know the truth." The murmurs swelled into something louder. A passenger clapped softly, then another, until the sound grew, echoing through the cabin. The attendant stood frozen, shame painting every line of her face. Camille sat back down, her expression calm once more, her presence undeniable. The rest of the crew moved carefully, silently, avoiding eye contact. Drinks were served without a word. Passengers whispered to one another, some shaking their heads in disbelief, others smiling in admiration. The plane lifted into the sky, but the memory of that moment remained grounded in the hearts of everyone who had witnessed it. The day a woman revealed that she not only belonged in first class, she owned it. If this story moved you, if it made you pause and think about dignity, power, and the truth that lies beneath appearances, then don't just watch in silence. Share this story. Let others hear it. And if you want more powerful stories like this, realistic, raw, and unforgettable, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications. Your support helps these stories reach the world.